What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. Well, today's not the morning movie chat. Today I'm going to be talking about some comic books. This is kind of a pre-comic book day stream, and I'm going to change the thumbnail of this video. It's not going to remain what it is. I just put that up there to, thank my Patreon supporters, but also, because I didn't get a thumbnail made in time. I was sitting here fiddly farting around in the morning, and then Young Ripper 59's new video started, just went up, and I was listening to For Canon's Sake, and I realized, I was like, oh crap, it's already 8 o'clock, guys. I need to be streaming. What am I doing? Not paying attention to my business is what I'm doing. So anyway, I hope you're all having a good day today. Please, if you are here, do me a huge favor, guys. I know it's ridiculous that we have to say this, but please make sure that you give this video a like or give it a dislike. Just do something to interact in order to get YouTube to push my videos. So then, they're not. So then Hydra isn't burying me in that YouTube algorithm. I greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. Now, I just also want to say that. Gosh, guys, it's been busy, is what it is. It's been busy, and I've been dropping a lot of content here over the weekend. You guys, I think I dropped some videos on Sunday. You guys know I rarely ever do that. I usually take the weekends off, staying busy doing all kinds of just different things out there, just with my family and stuff like that. This weekend, I got a chance to catch up. Hopefully this weekend, I might get a chance to catch up a little bit more, because, guys, I've got a lot of comic books that I still have to do, reviews on. One of them, just so many I've wanted to do some different reviews on. Like this weekend, I dropped a review, or was that just yesterday? I dropped a review. Yeah, it was yesterday, of White Widow. The whole series is like 3 books so far. A great little series. I think you guys should probably check out if you're into like the superhero realm. It's a female-led superhero. A very, very good book. It's got very beautiful art in it. And I actually got contacted by one of the and I am True Skills. What's up? Good morning. Thank you for being here, Maverick Pilgrim. How are you doing this morning? Just here talking some comic books. So yeah, I dropped that review of the White Widow comic books because what had ended up happening. Terrazon, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing? I dropped that video because I had issue number 2 and issue number 3, but then I got contacted by one of the creators of White Widow, and he sent me a digital copy of issue number 1, 2, and 3. They're extended editions, and I got to do some reviews on all 3 of them. So I want to just give a huge shout out to Benny Powell, who did reach out to me here on the channel, and offered them, was so nice and generous to offer those books for me to read so I could review them, and then. Also, I've got some others that I just dropped this morning. You guys should go check that out. There's 2 issues releasing on Vault Comics this week. On Wednesday, and that is The Plot issue number 3 and Maul issue number 4 that I just dropped reviews of those on the channel this morning. And I got those advanced copies from Michael Morecki. I think it's Michael Morecki, how you say his last name. I got those from him. He put out a tweet, if anybody wants these advanced copies to do some reviews of. So I went ahead and got him, and he sent 3 books, and he sent the Plot and Maul, and I already dropped that this morning. And then the one of them drops next week. It's an Archie comic called Vampironica, and I'm going to go ahead and do a review on that as well. But I've got plenty of other books, guys, that I've been behind on my reading. I'm finally getting caught up on everything, so I can bring some more of these reviews, more so on the independent books as opposed to the Marvel books. I am a little bit behind on some of my Marvel reading still, which is fine, because I think with some of the Marvel books, just unless they're hot titles everybody's looking for, I will release those separately as they come out. Like this Tuesday, tonight, I'll be dropping some videos on Fallen Angels, New Mutants, and X-Force issue number 2s, because those have been some pretty hot books out there. A lot of people have been looking for. So I'll be doing those. But I've got some others here I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to be working up some reviews on. And let's see who else. Drunk 3PO, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Speaking of which, Drunk 3PO, I've got your undrunk counterpart right here in this little cup. I went to the movie theater this weekend and watched Frozen 2 with my kids and my wife. We all went on Sunday and got this cup. I know, pretty cool, right? Yeah. And plus, I've got my R2D2 ears up there. But yeah, guys, shout out to Drunk 3PO. Yeah, Drunk 3PO is really awesome. And as a matter of fact, tonight, some Black Guys in a Drunk is going to be happening. In case you guys don't know, some Black Guys in a Drunk is just kind of a panel of a few of us different YouTube content creators that Drunk 3PO has gotten together, and we do this live stream on Tuesdays. It used to be every few weeks, but then lately it's been every week, and it's really good time just getting around and talking about different just things going on out there in the world, whether it's pop culture news, just regular news, Florida man stories, all kinds of different stuff. It's always fun to get together with everybody there. I mean, like I said, Drunk 3PO hosts a show. We usually have like the President Abu Nas on there, Fatal J, one of my favorites, Lord Callus, Demajanai, another great one. And sometimes when people like me are slacking and not able to make it on, he even gets guests to get on the show as well. And he's had people like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers come on, John Talks, Sith Kryptonian, just a whole bunch of different people he's gotten to come on and guest star in place of people like me who can't always make it and be there. But that's all good, because sometimes I think that just kind of switches up and changes the show up, and it's always a good time to get there and talk with everybody. It's always a good time to get together and talk with anybody out there who watches us in the YouTube community. Thank you all so much for being here. So yeah, getting right into it, guys. I've got some books that I've got to get reviews shot on. First off, I've got like Sarah and the Royal Stars. Now this one right here is a book on Vault Comics, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just make a whole video showcasing Vault Comics and exactly all the books that they've got. Because guys, this publisher has only been around since 2016. Okay, and to me, they're proving that you can take and be a small print publisher and still make it in the comic book industry. I know there's a lot of people out there who are, all these people out there who are saying, oh, the comic industry is dying and all this stuff. Now, I'm not going to have my head in the sand and pretend like, it's not, okay? Because not everything is good. However, I will say that there's still a market out there for good comic books. There still is. Just because Marvel and DC, who do get the majority of the sales still, have, just because their sales are dropping, I think some of that money is still going into smaller publishers like Vault Comics, like an Aftershock Comics, like Image Comics, and things like that. As well as, we see out there in the world, there are plenty of other independent creators who are doing a lot of the crowdfunding things through like Indiegogo and even Kickstarter. And I'll be talking about some of those here by the time we get to the end of the show as well. But that's Sarah and the Royal Stars. This is issue number 4. I believe this probably only has one issue left before the end of this first story arc, or if this is going to be an ongoing series. I don't know. But I've quite enjoyed this series. And the one thing I like about some of these series I've been reading is like this one right here, they actually take some of like the constellations and some of like the stars and just all that kind of like technical stuff out there, like some of the lore and everything from them too, and they apply that in this book. And that's what I like, is they're not just it's not just some whatever story talking about whatever. It's they're actually, there's, I guess you could say, there's a little bit of education involved in this book, in this story. The next one I have on Vault Comics here is The Heist. I've still got to do a review on this one, but guys, this book right here, I wasn't expecting that I was going to buy this. I wasn't expecting I was going to like it. I got it. I bought it. This book is freaking great. It's a heist story where, well, obviously it's called Heist, but it's basically about this guy. He got released from jail, and he is going out to basically save this world that has been basically sold. It's basically been sold, and he's going out to basically reclaim this world and just make it theirs again, because it was like one of the last worlds out there that was kind of unaffected by all these things going on out there in the world, or in the galaxy, I guess. But it's a very good book. I didn't, like I said, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I did. I did enjoy it. The story, the art, and everything in it. Again, Vault Comics has been doing one hell of a job. If you guys read comic books, I think Vault Comics is one you guys definitely should go check out. Okay, and oh dang it. Okay. Now the next ones I've got to do some reviews on still for you guys, is Money Shot issue number 1 and issue number 2. And this issue number 1 of Money Shot here is an homage to Fantastic Four. God, I can't remember which Fantastic Four book that was. Fantastic Four number 220. that one's an homage to. Again, very, very great cover. I'm thinking about maybe buying the original cover as well, if they still have it at my local comic shop. And Money Shot issue number 2. Again, these are on Vault Comics as well. I've absolutely loved these. I've actually loved both of these books. Now the thing is these books probably these Money Shot books, they're probably not for everybody. I mean, Money Shot, just by the name of it, you can tell it's somewhat it's it's not it's not pornographic, but it is dealing with adult themes. As basically what's happening in the story is there's this group of scientists who are like creating this technology, and they need funds. When you're doing these kind of things, they need money, they need funds to continue their research and stuff. And basically at this point nobody wants to give them money anymore, so they've found a way to go out there and get the funding that they need by crowdfunding through basically like having a YouTube channel. And they're doing some crowdfunding to get money to continue their research, and they are doing that by means of having sex with aliens. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It hasn't happened yet. Well, did it happen? Well, it didn't happen yet necessarily, but well, no, I guess in issue 1 it did. But very funny book. Again, the humor in here isn't for everybody. Some people aren't going to like it. But I mean, because you got like we learned in issue 2, one of the things that they had to do to go out there and start this was, one of the things was there could be, they had to break down the walls, and they all had to have sex with each other. And as you can see, there are men and women in this group, and that kind of means, you can probably guess. But again, that's just something I'm assuming. It's not anything that I've actually seen in the comic book yet. So hey, I don't know. But again, it's been very funny. The other ones on Vault Comics I've been reading as well here that I've got to do these reviews on is Creature Feature issue number 1 and 2. And this book has been very good. Again, this is one that's it's like a classic tale. It's like a throwback. I believe it takes place in probably like the 70s, maybe the early 80s, in which we see there was basically like this comet, this meteor that had fallen down on this town, on the town of Whisper. And Whisper seems to be the town that Vault Comics likes to use in their stories when it's something like this, is this town of Whisper. Because that's exactly what they did in another story called Return to Whisper, which was, I believe, a 5-issue miniseries as well. It just ended, I want to say, a month or 2 ago. And I only got to read the last issue of those, which was a double feature. But again, Creature Feature was very good. Like I said, this meteor goes over this town, and something lands in the lake, and it ends up being like these crazy, like jelly, like monster things. They look almost like starfish, and they come up and they begin like eating people and taking people over. You can see like let's see, where are we at here? And basically what happens is this kid, one of these kids goes to stay the night at his friend's house, and then they end up sneaking out to the lake, and they end up getting attacked by this big old monster. And that's just the monster by itself right there. But what he has is he got these little minions, if you will, that kind of look like these little starfish right here that you can see. Right there, where you can see that it ends up going to her mouth. It's just like some crazy gory stuff. But and then basically there's this news channel, or this little small family owned channel, that is actually getting ready to be shut down. And that's what we get in issue number 2, as just getting introduced to some of the different characters. I'm guessing this is probably once again going to be a 5-issue miniseries, maybe 4 of the Creature Feature on Vault Comics. Again, a great book. I've really quite enjoyed it, and it's like a horror title, very good. It kind of reminds me of something kind of like the Blob, like the original Blob, not that remake crap. The original Blob from, like, what was it, the 50s or the 60s? Remember that movie? Did you ever see that one? Such a great movie, man. I remember being I haven't watched that in years. I remember being a little kid watching watching The Blob, and I remember thinking like, holy crap, man, that's crazy, that's scary. And even today, I watch, even if I were to watch that today, just based on what I remember, I would still look at it and be like, man, this is just great cinema. Not none of that crap like the MCU gives us. Cinema. I'm kidding, obviously. I'm kidding. Don't give me no dislikes. Oh, don't leave the stream. I was on. Dang it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, the next ones I still have to do reviews on is Necromancer's Map, issue number 3 and issue number 4. Now, issue number 4 is basically the end of this story arc for the Necromancer's Map. And I think they even say in here, what the next book is going to be, because this came out of a tale. I believe the original one was called A Songs for the Dead tale, and it says that right there on the back of this book, A Songs for the Dead tale. I never read any of those. Maybe I'll have to go back and see if I can find the trade paperback to read. But it looks like the next one of these is going to be called the next stop is The Covenant of Necromancers, and that, they say that right there at the very end of this book. But basically, what we found is Bethany here is she's a necromancer, and she comes across this this character right here, which is Lady Elisar. And then with the help of Jonas here, they're going out. They got this map that they're going to try to figure out what's going on with just all some of these lands have been cursed. Elisar had been wrongly, or maybe not necessarily wrongly, had been killed in battle, and just some different things going on here. Very cool, very cool little story. I've quite enjoyed the Necromancer's map. Again, I don't think that that's one that necessarily a whole lot of people are going to enjoy, but yeah, I've liked it, and I like those kind of medieval fantasy tales in the first place. And if you guys haven't read Kanto was really good. It's on IDW Comics, but we're talking about Vault Comics for right now. Let's see who else we got here. We also got Perry Comics. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Wookie Supremacy. Good morning. Downright Nerdy podcast. Good morning. Drunk 3PO says, "I'll send. Can I have that book? I'll send my address. Which book? Which book are you talking about? Let me know. But also, Drunk, you need to send me your address, because I've got something I want to send you anyway. I've got something for you. I'll message you about that. Now, the next ones, guys, that I want to talk about here are some more independent books. One of them is on Source Point Press, and I'll get to that in just a minute here. Okay, now I've never really read a whole lot of books out of Source Point Press, but when I went to LA Comic Con here just last month, almost 2 months ago now. It was back in October. I ended up running into the author there, Frank Gogol, who wrote this series right here, and that's Dead End Kids. And this is a 3-issue miniseries being published by Source Point Press. Again, this one I thought was really good. The art in it, it's not the best art in the world, but I mean, for being a 3-issue miniseries on such a small publisher and everything, it's not too bad. And for the story that's going on here, again, this is from a small independent creator. They got a small publisher here, willing to get to get their book out there, and I thought it was pretty good. Now, basically, what's going on in this story is it's kind of. It's a story you've probably heard before. You get a group of kids together who end up growing up. I mean, think kind of like Stand By Me, kind of like that. We've got this group of kids here who are really good friends growing up. They all have kind of messed up backgrounds. One of them, his mother had died during childbirth. Another one is completely orphaned. His parents are both dead, and he's now living with some foster parents. And then the other one of them, her mother is had just gotten divorced. Her father had just left her, and things like that. And the other one, God, what was his family life like? I can't quite remember all of them right now off the top of my head. But again, it was a very good story, because what happens is we see that, and it takes place in like the 90s, and we get some flashbacks to earlier points in their lives. But we see that what we learn is these kids at the very beginning of issue 1, we find out that one of them ends up dead, and he's basically the one who's kind of like the kid who stood up for everybody. He was a real stand-up guy. He's the one that kind of brought them all together, and any kind of group of friends always has that one friend as well, the one that's kind of more judicious, and just kind of be like, hey guys, come on, calm down. The guy who's able to he's probably a Libra. The one that kind of brings everybody together and brings them brings them back down and grounds them, I guess you could say. And what happens is one night after an incident, he ends up getting killed and being found under in the river, well, not the river, I guess the lake that has been frozen over, and he ends up being found and caught dead there. Well, what had happened was earlier that day they had an altercation with another kid in the from their school that they knew, and who is obviously has not the best background, and has had been selling drugs, and they come across him, kind of getting a little altercation with him. And then during all of that, we get this kind of what I showed you there in the art. We get this character that lives there near the lake, who ends up intervening during this altercation, and he looks very how would you say, he looks very Gran Torino right here, right here in the book, as he hops over and breaks this fight up. And what the cool thing about this story is, all of these kids kind of they've all got their messed up backgrounds. We learn even the kid who's the drug dealer. He has his own things that he's been dealing with, and even the guy who interrupts this altercation, this Gran Torino like character, looks very Clint Eastwood like. He has a past as well, a little bit of history, and again, this is all happening in a small town. So if you guys aren't from a small town, you've never been to a small town, it's one of those kind of things. Like when things happen, people want to keep it hush hush. They want to kind of ignore it, or like, it's water under the bridge. Kind of forget about it. It was a very good book. It's only 3 issues on Source Point Press. I did like it. Again, the art is decent. I can't complain. Like when it comes down to it, like, as opposed to like something from like Marvel or something like that. When we get some of these smaller print books, I don't have the highest expectations. What I want is a good story, and I want some decent art to go along with that. And honestly, really, a great story far outweighs having some art that could definitely use some brushing up, or like, I'm willing to give a little bit in the art department for a great story. And that's kind of what this Dead End Kids was. There's a nice 3-issue little tale of these kids who just kind of had these incidents that happened to them as they were kids growing up, and just kind of how it's all affected them, and how we still see at the very end of the book, by the time they get into like 2019, the current year, they are all still friends and still come together for one another, for different various reasons. Again, I think it was a very good book, very well written, and again, only 3 issues. And sometimes I think that's a good thing, having just like a mini series, because they've only did 3 books here. It looks like they're only doing the 3 books for this series, and I like that, because like, you've got a story you want to tell, and you can do it in 3 issues. You don't have to drag it out for 4. You're not trying to go for 5, because sometimes I think that's what happens, is in some of these series we see that they get drug out, for 6 issues or 7 issues or 10 issues, or however many issues that a particular story might be. And you get a lot of stuff that's kind of like, yeah, I could do without this, I could do without that. It drags here, kind of like the Mandalorian series. How that first episode kind of drug on. It was a little longer than it needed to be, and to me, it kind of affects the overall series altogether so far. Somewhat like that. Somewhat like that. And I think it's nice that they got this story told in 3 books. Again, I think it's a pretty good read. And let me know down in the comments below. Have you guys read Dead End Kids? If not, does it sound like something you might want to read? Again, I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, kind of like a Stand By Me tale in a comic book. Very good. And before I go into these next ones, I will. And again, these are all comic books that I plan on doing. I plan on doing some reviews on. I just haven't had the time, and just getting caught up on my reading. But let's see here. Downright Nerdy Podcast, how you doing this morning? Wookie's here. I think I seen Wookie in here a minute ago. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for being here. Downright Nerdy Podcast says, how you doing, Second Street Marvel? I'm doing good. How are you doing? I hope everything is going good. I actually caught one of your podcasts the other day. Let's see. Dark Thief says, I'm good. The one you just talked about the medieval. Oh, the Necromancer's Map. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good series. Good series. Perry Comics says they've been dropping some good books lately. Yeah, you must be talking about Vault Comics. Yeah, I haven't read a title out of Vault Comics that I haven't enjoyed. Like, I think that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna reach out to Vault Comics and see if I can get either like, I think is it Damian Wassel, who is one of the like the CEO of it, or one of the I think there's Adrian as well. I want to see if I can get them to come onto the channel and just have a chat with them, and just talk to them about their time in the comic book industry, how they did it, what they just ask them all kinds of questions. You know what I mean? Because I've really liked what they do. And then if I can get them to get here on the show, I'm gonna issue a challenge to them. I'm gonna issue a challenge of Do you guys have a bad title? Does Vault Comics have a bad title they put out? I haven't read one title out of Vault Comics yet that has been disappointing, that has triggered me in some sort of way or anything. I mean, they're just putting out great books, great stories, good art. That's all it really takes. That's what we want. And in these, like I said, Vault Comics, they have some things in them that some people might say is like agenda based or just things like that. Like, but they're not agenda based. There are things in there that people would misconstrue as that. Like I said, the Necromancer's Map, it has a gay character in there. Obviously, like Money Shot they're dealing with sex and everything like that, and they're all going to be getting it on. So there's going to be, it's not gay if it's in a three-way, right? Sorry, I just had to. You ever heard that song from The Lonely Island? It's not gay if it's in a three-way. It was on Saturday Night Live when. Yeah. Anyway, just hilarious stuff. But yeah, Vault Comics has really been on point, and I'm hoping I can reach out to them and maybe get an interview with one of them here on the channel, if not some of their other creators, because I've really, really, really enjoyed everything that I've read out of Vault Comics, and like I said, I plan on doing a video kind of showcasing them and their comics here on the channel because I really like the work they've been doing. Let's see. Downright Nerdy Podcast says I've been wanting to read that series. Oh, which one was that? Is Dead End Kids or Money Shot or Creature Feature or dang? See, I wasn't keeping up with the chats while I was sitting here flapping my gums because I'm so nerdy. Perry Comics says Ogres by Source Point comes out this week with one of my new favorite artists, Sean Daly, who did Samurai Grandpa. Really? Okay. I think I've seen that. I doubt my local comic book shop is going to be getting that in, but I'll see if they can order that. Sounds interesting. Or maybe I'll wait for your review, Perry, and see what you think about that. And if you guys haven't been to Perry Comics channel, you guys need to go check out Perry Comics. He does some great videos. He does these lurking videos, which are really good. He hasn't done one lately. I'm going to subscribe if he don't hurry up and do one. I'm just kidding. But he's really good at it, doing this lurking thing where he goes through and he just kind of promotes other YouTube channels out there in the comic book community. Really great channel. But then he's also been doing his comic book reviews, I believe on Thursday or Friday, dropping this video, and he's been bringing guests on there to kind of highlight their channels as well as they do a one issue review of something that came out earlier that week. Really cool stuff. Kind of similar to what Drunk 3PO has been doing on his channel on Sundays with his like Star Wars Sunday thing, promoting other smaller channels out there. Cool stuff. And both of them obviously great dudes who I enjoy watching their content. Drunk 3PO and Perry Comics, great stuff. Wookiee Supremacy says I never heard of Samurai Grandpa, but I have to see that now. Yeah, Samurai Grandpa. I haven't read it myself neither, but I've heard of it definitely. Wookiee Supremacy says that sounds too good to pass up, right? Downright Nerdy Podcast says 100% agree, man. Story is a must. Otherwise, if I want some art, I'll get a variant cover. That's right. Exactly. Very true. Like I said, if the story's good, I'm not too picky about the art. I just want the great story, and then the art just has. Largely, the art really just has to serve the purpose of the story and what's going on and set the tone. And that's what I like about some of these books I've been reading. Like I just dropped that review this morning of on Maul. Maul, that book has it's got some art that some people may not like in it. I would say it kind of reminds me of some of the art from Coffin Bound, where it's kind of, it's not always highly detailed, it's just kind of a little bit different, but a lot of the coloring and a lot of that, not high detail art really helps the story out. It helps set the tone for what's going on, and I really like it. And that's what I've really been liking about a lot of these indie books. But getting both is a treat. Yes, it is. Getting both is definitely a treat when you get great art and great story. And that's one of the things I found in that book Heist. It's got good art and it's got great story, good stuff. And again, this Saturday, in case for anybody here, don't forget this, guys, I may move my live stream because I forgot on Saturday we're going to be going we're going to have Thanksgiving down at my brother-in-law's house. So I may end up moving that live stream to either Sunday or Friday. Let me know what you guys think is better. I'm going to have like a big old marathon stream for my 1 year here on YouTube. Maybe I'll do it on Friday. But during that, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, guys. You need to go back and watch my video on how to get entered because I'm going to be giving away. There's only like 2 people I think that have entered, and I've got a bunch of stuff to give away. But it's for a trade paperback. Yeah, trade paperback. Thick book. It's a beautiful book of Neon Future Volume 1. And I hope you guys go back and watch that video and learn how to get entered into that contest. Please, I beg of you. Don't make me give all these things to one person, okay? Don't. Come on. Come on. But go back and watch the videos and get entered to be here for the live stream, guys. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun. Wookiee Supremacy says the Spider-Man on your shirt is offensive. Where are his organs? Well, I think he leaves his organ probably, at his apartment. That's a whole big old thing to carry around. You ever been to a church and seen one of them fancy organs? Oh wait, what organs are you talking about? Hey, I'm on to you, man. I'm on it. I got you. I got you. But it's Spider-Man. I don't know that he has organs other than, I mean, maybe a vein. He's got maybe a vein. But you're killing me, man. Oh man. Perry Comics says, yeah, it's a good one. The trade paperback is up for pre-order now too. Oh, which one? Which one of the trade paperbacks? Because I know, dang. I'm not sure which trade paperback you're talking about there, Perry. But I seen there's a few getting ready to come out on trade paperback here pretty soon. I wonder if you're talking about Kanto, because Kanto I seen is getting ready to come out as well. Um, he says as long as the swords don't touch. Mr. Me, thank you so much for being here. Says, I just got back into comics after a 15-year hiatus. Bought the new X-Men and X-Force. The amount I want to read is so overwhelming. Yeah, it is, Mr. Me. There is a lot of books out right now, and with the X-Men series right now, you can't really go wrong. I would say stick to the main X-Men story, and then X-Force, and then maybe the New Mutants. I actually did a video, I think, dropped it last week or the week before, doing a ranking list on the Dawn of X titles, which are all the ones that spun out after House of X and Powers of X. You may want to go give that a watch because I kind of ranked each one of the series and what I think are the good books, and not necessarily good or bad, but what I think in order of importance of what I think is going to be going on in this overall story. Because there's a couple of them, actually a few of them, I don't see them as being really long series, maybe lasting 10, 11, 12 issues max, and I could very well be wrong on that. But you should go back and watch that video and check it out. But yeah, there has been, and I just got back into reading last year, Mr. Me, after about a 25-year hiatus. So I hear you, and I've been going out there and reading a lot of books, and that's kind of what I started centering my channel more around. And yeah, there's some great stuff out there. Perry Comics says, "Mr. Me, I know tons of new books each week. It can be overwhelming. It really can, and I've been scaling back my pull list. I really have." I'm True Skills says, "Have you read the Savage Avengers?" I have read Savage Avengers. I even got the poster right back there on my wall. But yeah, Savage Avengers has been great. I think I'm probably 3 issues behind on it, but I've really liked what Jerry Dugan has been doing with the Savage Avengers. And I didn't read the annual neither. I didn't get the annual read also. But I've really liked the Savage Avengers. Great stuff. Jerry Dugan's doing a great job writing that. He's also writing, which one of the X titles is he writing? Not Excalibur, not New Mutants. Is it? I can't remember which one he was writing. But he was writing one of those new series, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was really good. I like his writing. Wasn't he writing one of the Dawn of X titles? Pretty sure he was. Pretty sure he was. But yeah, very good stuff. Snow Dub Music and Entertainment. What's up? Jenner check. Woo! Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So now the next ones I want to talk about. Now these next books that I'm going to talk about here are these are on Pocket Jacks Comics. Now these are books that I picked up. I actually backed one of them on Kickstarter, and the others I ended up picking up physical. I bought all of them on digital through Kickstarter, and the other ones I bought when I was at LA Comic Con directly from Preston Poulter at Pocket Jacks Comics, and that is White Lily. This is a 5-issue miniseries. You can find this. You can go probably still find these books available on like Backer Kit through Kickstarter and things like that, and get physical copies of these. If not, you could probably run into Preston Poulter from Pocket Jacks Comics at any of the conventions that's been going on. He's been staying pretty busy. You can follow him on Twitter at Pocket Jacks Comics. But yeah, like White Lily issue 4. This is the cover of White Lily issue 3. And White Lily issue 2. and White Lily, issue number 1. Now, this series has been really good. I actually found and heard about this series from watching Young Rippa 59. I was watching his channel one day, and he had Preston Poulter on there as he was talking about these comics. And it's basically White Lily is telling the story of a couple of these women, like fighter pilots from. It's the fiercest fighter pilots, the fiercest female fighter pilots from World War II. And we mainly following the story of two women who were friends growing up, and they ended up getting recruited by the Russians to help stop, and fight against the Nazis. And we see that they go through a lot of trials and tribulations. I mean, a lot of kind of typical tropes out there. I mean, that's just really what happens in these kinds of stories. And this is, I believe, based on a true story. But we're following the story of these two ladies as they're coming up through basically the training academy, and they end up getting recruited to go fight against the Nazis from Russia. And they both come from places where they're not really they don't really want to fight with Russia, but at the point that they're in, the point of this war, they really have no choice if they want to help and join in and fight against the Nazis. And it's very good. We see that the one of the main characters here, I can't remember exactly what her real name is. Obviously Lily is short for her name, but let's see, we got Lilia Litviak. She's a Soviet flight instructor, and you can see that right there. And we're for the most part, we're following her story, and then her other friend here is Katya Budanova, who we meet right here, in this story. And basically they end up getting recruited. They go off to fight in World War II. They end up racking up quite a bit of kills along the way. And at one point, Lily gets kind of trapped in enemy territory and has to end up escaping. And we can see that there's not even a love triangle going on here, but we can see that there is somewhat of a love story going on here as well. As White Lily, Lilia, she ends up losing. She ends up falling in love with one of the other guys, one of the instructors and everything there, if you will, or maybe somebody who ranks above her. In the military. She ends up falling in love with him, and he ends up dying through the course of the story. And then, as she's lonely, we can see that there's, kind of there's a lesbian relationship going on here, but it doesn't really overshadow the story or anything. The story isn't about that. It just ends up being something that's part of the story. As one of the characters just has affections for her, and we kind of see that play out through the course of this book. And issue number 4 actually just got funded, and I know just through Kickstarter, Preston Poulter said he just got these off to the printers and everything, and they will be they should have the prints ready to send out here by the beginning of December. And I actually got my copy because I went and seen he had some advanced copies printed for convention season, as Preston Poulter was going around meeting a lot of people. And so I got one of the advanced copies of issue number 4. One of the differences here is it doesn't have the thank you page in the back of it. Doesn't have the thank you page in the back of the book that will be there by the time he gets the ones back from the printers. And I went ahead and pledged to get on the thank you page as well for that, because I really like this series, and I like the work that he's doing with here with this. Now, I will say that the first 2 issues of this series were actually had a different artist on them. You can see right here, I believe is Davis here, who is one of the artists here on this series, and Lavelle Davis. And apparently during the making of this series, I believe it was during after he had done issue number 2, he ended up passing away. He died. So he has gone out and got some different artists and things like that to help finish this series. And I gotta say, you can see that through the course of this book. Where like the first 2 issues, there was some variances in the art, just due to the artist. There are it's just different. Characters the consistency in the art isn't the same throughout the first 2 issues. Just trying to just getting everything drawn up. But again, it's very good art. But we're getting through the last couple of issues, we're getting a lot more polished look, a lot more consistency in the art. But altogether, all of these books have been really The art in them has been good. Inconsistencies aside, the art has been really good. I've quite enjoyed them, and the story in here I've really liked. It's a really well written story that Preston Poulter has put together here in White Lily. And so I'm guessing that if issue number 4 is getting ready to hit the printers and he's going to be getting that out and sending it out soon, I'm guessing that here pretty soon he is going to start a Kickstarter campaign for issue number 5. And I'm going to see if I can reach out to Preston Poulter and bring him onto the show as well, and just have a sit down and do like a little interview with him. Maybe help promote his new book as soon as he gets that launched, because I've quite enjoyed what he's done there. And again, like I said, guys, I really started this channel off talking more about Marvel. I was always kind of more of a Marvel reader, and then got into a little bit of DC, and then I started dipping my toe into the indie world. And guys, I've really overall enjoyed more of the indie books more. Now the thing is, like, Marvel and DC, they have the superheroes. They pretty much have the market cornered on it, for the most part. And like, some of the books are good, some of them aren't as good. Just different things like that. I'm probably still never going to get rid of all my Marvel books. I'll still probably always pull some of them, because some of them are still doing good. And I've seen that a lot of the writers and things like that who have been doing some of these independent books, some of these smaller press books, are now getting work with Marvel and DC and things like that. So they're coming up. Like I seen last week, I believe, was it last week, I reviewed Black Stars Above. Lonnie Nadler is one of the writers for that, who's going to be doing some work in, I believe, the 2099 series, little event that's going on. And also even, gosh, who's the other writer? Michael Morecki. Or is it Moresi? I don't know how you say his last name, but he's been doing the plot and Maul, which I dropped reviews on earlier today. He's actually going to be doing some work for, I'm not sure if it's a 2099 series, but I think it's the Annihilation Scourge little mini event that's going on at Marvel. So that's one of the things I like about supporting some of these smaller print publishers, is you get to read some of the stories that these other writers have written before they started getting these jobs with some of the bigger publishers like the Marvel and the DC. Like, I know Donny Cates has been out there doing a lot of work. He's been writing, I think, Baby Teeth. Is that on Aftershock Comics? I haven't read that, but I've heard it's really good. Cullen Bunn has been doing a lot of work in the indie realm as well, and I see he's been getting work with Marvel pretty regularly as well. And so it's really nice to see some of these different people getting work with some of the bigger publishers out there, and hopefully they can hopefully help kind of right the ship for some of the things that are going on over in the Marvels and the DCs of the world. Let's see. Tommy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hardest working moderator on YouTube. Perry Comics says, doing good. Waiting for some pizza my boss got for the office. Nice. I wish my boss would get some pizza for the office. Of course, I'm my own boss, so that means I gotta get it. Dang it. Wookiee Supremacy says, I'm really tired of Nazis. Aren't we all? Can't we all just get along? Downright Nerdy Podcast says, I gotta run. Great show always, bud. Take care, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here. Downright Nerdy Podcast. Have a good day. Wookiee Supremacy says, I've been called a Nazi too many times to be entertained by them. Right? Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. People going out there like come on, man. Like, people, again, it's buzzwords, man. These people use for whatever reason. Captain Pennsylvania, thank you so much for being here. Great to have you here. Tommy says, but they would think twice if they had ancestors that wound up under their rule and suffered. Damn hypocrites. Yeah. Captain Pennsylvania says, getting off work trying to get some comic news. Yeah, man. Like I said, this morning I dropped some reviews on the channel of some advanced reviews that I got advanced copies of and did some reviews of, and that's Maul issue number 4 and the Plot issue number 3. You should go check those out. They are some smaller press. They're on Vaults Comics. Great titles I've been reading, man. Go check that out. And as far as comic news, man, I got to get there's quite a bit, the X-Men Out of the Dawn of X series that's coming out, all these new series spinning out of Jonathan Hickman's relaunch or reboot of the X-Men in the Marvel Universe, if you will. They're dropping 3 books this week. 3 books. We're getting Fallen Angels, New Mutants, and X-Force all this week, guys. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to get those books and I'm going to do a review on them. And what I need, I need some feedback from you guys. And in my videos, please go check out my comic book reviews. What I've been doing is I'm going to see about bulking some of them, putting some of them together in bulk reviews. Like I said, we're gonna get 3 new X titles this week, and I will probably put all 3 of those reviews in one review and hope that it does good and hope people like that, as opposed to one for each one. Because I think like I've been picking up like somewhere around like 10 issues a week, and I think that's a lot to do individual reviews on. Of course, I could be wrong, and if you want me to do more in-depth reviews on each one, I will certainly do that. But I think that's what I'm going to do for now on. Like obviously number ones, I will probably do individuals for, and then just maybe the series after that I'll probably just kind of briefly mention them in like some bulk reviews, and then maybe at after 5 issues or something, after a little arc or something, maybe I'll go ahead and do a more in-depth review of that particular series. But please let me know what you guys think about those reviews and how they've been coming along. Now let's see, Snowdeb says, what are you sipping on this morning, Trinity? Whiskey? Nah, just some coffee. Just some coffee with whiskey in it. No, I'm just kidding. There's no whiskey in it. I don't really drink that much anymore. But when I do, we got this local brewery here that I really like going to. It was actually co-founded by Arlie Ermy. Then yeah, that Arlie Ermy. Yeah, the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, the Gunny. Yeah, it was co-founded by him. They make some great brews there, absolutely great stuff. And his family's so awesome. I'm friends with his daughter on Facebook, and well, I guess kind of in real life. He's got a great family and everything, and it's a great place to go get some brews. And I got this one that I get there called Old Rat. It's like a 9 point beer. Man, it's fucking heavy, dude. Like one drink of that, like you're like, woo, man. Like one cup will get you feeling pretty good, man. I'm telling you, I like it. I like it. It's Myrtle's beer of choice, or Myrtle's brew of choice. But yeah, good stuff. Now the last one I want to talk about here is again from Preston Poulter at Pocket Jacks Comics. That's Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, issue number 1 of 5. And again, this one, guys, I finally got this read. This is a very good book as well. We learn Guinevere she's a magician. She's going out, and there's something strange going on out there, and she's going out to seek, I guess, some more knowledge and others who do magic just as she does. And she ends up coming across this guy right here, who's kind of showing her the ways and things like that. And it seems like she's somewhat naive in some of the things that are going on here. She's kind of learning to navigate this world. I thought issue number 1 was a pretty good setup to that. And the art in this book is really good as well. And I'll show you some of the art going on here in Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. Some of you guys might like this art, man. I'm telling you. Check that out. Check out that art. Just some pretty good stuff here. Now, some of the writing in this book, some people may not like. She's a strong female character, and she kind of talks like it. But again, a lot of it's not at the expense of a man or anything like that. Because I know a lot of people get worked up about that kind of stuff with agenda-based stuff out there. But again, Guinevere and the Divinity Factory I thought it was very good. Pretty good issue number 1. I'm not sure when he's going to be doing issue number 2 of this series, but I can't wait to read it. And again, it's only a 5-issue miniseries as well. And guys, I kind of like that, a miniseries, you only have 5 books to commit to. It's not an ongoing, and you don't know if you're going to jump off of it and then jump back on it or anything like that. You don't have to wait to see how it is. Like, I think I can commit to 5 issues, and if, by the time we get to the 3rd issue, if it's not very good, you can just be like, well, got 2 issues left. Hopefully it ends up all right. But I haven't found that yet in any of the series I've, from these smaller publishers that I haven't enjoyed. Very good stuff. Captain Pennsylvania says, "Oh, mall. Yeah, no, mall. Yeah, as in, no, not as in Darth Maul. Mall. Yeah, just mall. like shopping mall. Yeah, and here I'll show you the. Like I said, I dropped a review of it just this morning. Here on the channel. I don't have the book here with me, but yeah, I just dropped a review here on the channel this morning. You should go check it out. Where I reviewed the advanced copy of the book that will be coming out this week. Good stuff. Good stuff. I've tried. Wookiee Supremacy says I've tried to snag every Darth Maul. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Darth Maul books. Sweet. Tommy says I had the Sons of Dathomir limited run. Nice, nice. Captain Pennsylvania says, "So how are the newest Marvel Star Wars comics?" Honestly, I haven't really read any of the Star Wars comics at all. I haven't read most of them. I have a friend that he pulls. He's been pulling a lot of them, and I think was it Doctor Afra. I think that he's been reading, and he says he's like, man, it's a pretty good series, but man, it's like every like all constantly, seeing having to see the Doctor here go muff diving. And I'm just like, okay, like he's like it's a bit much sometimes, but I haven't read them. The only Star Wars series that I've actually read have been the Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple series, which was tying into the game. And I've got to tell you, reading that series leading up to the game was kind of like once I started playing that game, and I've only got to play that game for a couple hours so far, and I'm not very far in it, of the Fallen Order. It really kind of helped familiarize me with the world. Once I started playing the game, I'm like, hey, like I know these characters. I feel somewhat familiar here in the world. But I thought the book was pretty good. The Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple series. But again, that's written by Matthew Rosenberg. And I like Matthew Rosenberg's writing. I actually kind of wish Matthew Rosenberg would go off and do some more independent works. And maybe he has in the past, and I need to go find him because I like his writing, and I'd like to support Matthew Rosenberg in his work. He's been like he was writing the Supreme, not the Supreme, but the Superior Spider-Man series, and I've loved the Superior Spider-Man series this recent run. I thought he did a really good job on that. Right now, he is currently writing. What did I just do a review on? I think Annihilation Scourge. He did the launch off of that. Very good work. And Nick Spencer, I've liked his work over there at Marvel as well. I like Nick Spencer's work. Matthew Rosenberg, definitely some good books to read. Snowdub says, appreciate you doing videos today when everyone else is not uploading. One day won't make a difference. Big channels should shut down for a month. That will get their attention, right? Yeah, and that's the thing is like with some of that COPPA stuff going on out there, like largely COPPA isn't really going to affect a lot of us. Now I do understand, people want to protest it and all that kind of stuff. Hey, good on you if that's what you want to do. I just don't think for most of us it's not going to make a difference. And really, COPPA, it's not YouTube's fault. It's the government. And even I think the government, here's the thing though, is I think the FTC and the government, they're probably taking a more sensical approach to it than YouTube is. And maybe that's what everybody's protesting on YouTube is protesting against YouTube and how they're going about doing it. Because it seems like they are essentially trying to pass the buck on the creators, saying, hey man, this is all on you. We got nothing to do with this. When it was them who did all the misdeeds in the first place. It was them that did it. So I get people wanting to protest and stuff like that. But again, I don't think that it's going to be large enough that it's going to affect YouTube in any kind of way. They already got the advertising dollars. It's not going to hurt them that much for you to not upload today, because people who are going to upload today and protest, they're going to upload tomorrow and through the rest of the week, and they're going to have maybe back cataloged a couple extra videos. So they're going right now, today you're stopping, right today you're stopping, but tomorrow you're going to flood it. You know what I mean? So it just kind of, it doesn't really do anything. It's like when the gas strikes go on, like, we're not buying gas on this day. Everybody, make sure you fill your tanks tonight so tomorrow we can all protest these gas taxes and stuff. Like, guys, if you need gas, just go get some damn gas, okay? Speaking of which, that reminds me, I want to make a video. I want to make this video talking about the COPPA thing and everything. Anyway, I got a pretty funny take that I want to do on it, just like a mockery of the whole COPPA thing and how people have been. That's pretty funny. Wookiee Supremacy says, I have a four set of books that depict Darth Maul's survival after episode 1. Nice. That sounds cool. That sounds pretty cool. Captain Pennsylvania says, I just grabbed Luna Snow and Batman from 2016. Way behind. You know what? Luna Snow. I thought, if that's the one that's the one I'm thinking of. I thought that was kind of a silly tale, funny stuff. It's just a one-shot book, but altogether, it's not a bad issue. Pretty good. The one out of all those future fight firsts that they did spinning out of there, I believe they did White Fox, Luna Snow, and Crescent and Io. I really liked Crescent and Io. That book out of all of those series was a really good one. I like that one. I quite enjoyed that. I almost wish that one was like an ongoing. It'd be kind of cool if they were, but again, I mean, how far are they going to go? Like 4 or 5 issues. But I believe all of those characters are actually in the new Agents of Atlas, because that's what all these books are implying, is that they're being sought out to to join the new Agents of Atlas. So, and again, I haven't been reading New Agents of Atlas, so they've probably been in there, and I just don't know about it. But again, I did like those little one shot books. They were all pretty good. They were decent. I can't crap on them and say they suck or anything. But yeah, I thought they were pretty good. And again, Crescent and Io was my favorite out of the whole bunch. Captain Pennsylvania says I need to play that game. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm guessing you're talking about Fallen Order. Yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't got as much chance to play as much as I want. Snowdub says, what comic book do you recommend for the Snow Kid? I need to get him to read more. He's 9, going on 16. Um, Honestly, man, out of all the books, it depends on what you want. I mean, do you want something superhero for him, or do you want something, um, uh, a little more, maybe not superhero? Because if you're gonna go superhero, I would say, man, I really liked Amazing Spider-Man. This DC's Deceased that they recently did was really good as well. Um, but overall, I think my number one recommendation throughout this whole year has got to be Neon Future. I'm giving away a copy of it on my live stream, my 1 year celebration live stream. I'm giving away a copy of it, and to get entered into that, it's very simple. You just got to go watch the video and find out how to get entered into it. I believe I dropped that last Monday. You should go check it out. Very good book. It's kind of a dystopian type future. In which basically humans are at odds. There's kind of a class war going on between people who have upgraded their body with advanced technology and those who haven't. Pretty good book. But other than that, 9 going on 16, I would say, man, what is a good one? Because I've just been reading so many lately. So I'm just sitting here thinking like, what are the really great ones, man? Because there's been some good ones. Like Savage Avengers has been really good. Um, I've also, any of the Spider-Man titles I've read, honestly, maybe get like Spider-Man Life Story was a really good one, a little mini series that happened recently. Um, Other than that, maybe like Swordmaster. Swordmaster's been pretty good. Invisible Woman has actually been a pretty good series as well. Um, yeah, yeah, that's just a few of them that I would definitely recommend reading. God, just trying to think of what else there is. I've been reading Web of Black Widow. You can see that poster back there, but again, I don't think Web of Black Widow hasn't been as good as I'd like it to be. It's only a 5 issue miniseries, and through 3 issues now, I'm kind of feeling like, can we, yeah, can we move this along? Can we get this going? Come on, Jody Hauser, come on. It's not terribly written or anything. It just like seems like it's not really going anywhere yet. Whereby like the one that I like, the Black Widow that just released earlier this year that the Soska sisters wrote, No Restraints Play. It's available on trade paperback. That book was, damn, that book was good. That's probably my favorite book of the year. And maybe that's one that you should get for your kid if you want him to read something. It's a female led book, obviously being Black Widow, but she's going out there kicking ass, taking names. She's not even taking names. She don't even give a shit. But she's going out there, basically putting a stop to some human trafficking that's been going on, and it was an absolutely great book. That's probably my favorite, main like Marvel out of the big two that I've really liked so far this year. Another good one, Snowdub, is it'll be available on trade paperback in January, but you might be able to still pick up the floppies at your local comic book shop. But that's Kanto. Kanto over on IDW Comics has been really good, and I just found out, and this is something that I like I was saying earlier, I like where when a publisher or a writer is teaching you more than just an amusing story. Like I said, Sarah and the Royal Stars is using like star constellations and things like that. Kanto is actually, I didn't realize it, is actually taken from some work that, oh man, who was it that did that work, man? Divine Comedy. It was taken from, basically inspired by the Divine Comedy that was written by one of these, old school like writer, philosopher, poet people back in the day. Let me see if I can find it. Dante Alighieri. It's taken from that. I can show you some of that stuff right there. You see if you can see that. Dante Alighieri. A lot of it's taken from that, the inspiration, and man, it was a good story. And Arc 1 just ended in issue number 6, and it will be available on trade paperback in January. But very good stuff. I really liked it. I really liked it. Um, Let's see. Captain Pennsylvania says, "Oh, Tommy says, I am concerned about the vague terminology. It leaves too much open individual interpretation. That's my problem with it. Oh, you're talking about COPPA? Yeah, of course. I mean, that's when they do it in lawyer speak, they do that for a reason. They do that for a reason. But altogether, most of us aren't going to be affected by COPPA. It's people who are being not even being deceitful, but are misrepresenting their content and exactly who it's aimed at. That's who's going to be affected for the most part. Like me, I talk a lot about comic books here. I'm not the slightest bit worried about it. Dylan's comic book rant says, "What's up?" He says, "Yo, Trinity, why you scare me? Scare me with that last video. Maybe your last video. Don't scare me like that." Yeah, that's what people do, man. It's called clickbait. Clickbait. You gotta clickbait people to watch your videos. Oh, that's funny. Tommy says, "Hope all's well. Not too bad today. 2 days in a row, my wife's taking my father out, who is visiting. He is a handful. Yeah, it happens. It happens. I hear you." Dylan's comic book rant says, "Man, I fell off Savage Avengers after issue 4. I got to get back into that." Yeah, Savage Avengers has been pretty good, and I think issue 4 is the last one that I read. I'm a couple issues behind, but I did like Savage Avengers. I like it. Like the art in it's good. The storytelling's been pretty good, and I've still got to catch up on the annual as well. But I've liked it. Snowdub says, "Cool. That's a lot of recommendations. I'll just take the kid to the comic shop and let him pick one out." Yeah, yeah, and there you could also, depending on what you want to get him into, there are some more risque titles out there. You can go check out something on Xenoscope Comics, or maybe even more than that, you could check out like Zombie Tramp or something like that if you want to get him some boobies. Just kidding. Dylan's comic book rant says, "Sorry to hear that, Tommy. Hope you're back. Back feels better and better. Oh, and yeah, it's that time of year when family members are visiting. I'm doing okay. Just excited for tomorrow." I know, man. I know, man. It's great. Great. Wookiee Supremacy says, "Dante Alighieri." Yeah, see, he knows it. Wookiee knows exactly what we're talking about here. Obviously, Wookiee is well cultured and sophisticated and knows exactly what the hell I'm talking about, where I don't. And that's what I like about the comic books, because I look into something on about these comic books. I look up online and I'm like, oh, it's part of this, and like, oh, Dante Alighieri. Oh, okay, well, maybe I need to go check out some of his stuff and read up on some of it, because it'll help me get into some more history and just things like that have happened before. So, and I like that kind of stuff, and I like that about these books, that people will take and interweave those kinds of things into their books. Great stuff. Dylan says, "Kanto ain't no joke. Such a funny, heartfelt story. Cannot wait for Arc 2. Yeah, I really like Kanto, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep up with Arc 2. I may wait for the trade paperback. I don't know. I guess we'll see how the issue number 7 ends up being. But I really liked Kanto. It's good. Like one of the series, I think it was like the first one, issue number 1. I was like, dang man, this was such a good setup. And issue number 2 came out, and it seemed like it was a lot more art than there was words in it. The art really told the story more so than the words. It's great stuff. Wookiee's Premises says, "The Divine Comedy is one of my favorite books. I need to read it. I need to read it. Like, after reading that book, it made me want to read that when I found that out." Yeah. Um, very cool. I'll definitely take a look. Got the stream saved for a reference. Awesome. Awesome. Dylan's comic book rant says, "Yeah, as soon as you said that, time, I thought of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, when the family annoys the hell out of Clark." I hope it's not that bad. Yeah, man. And that's a classic, too. It's time to watch that. And, ooh, guys, this week, Thanksgiving, you got to make sure that you watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Great classic story about Thanksgiving. He said, Perry Comics says, "I'm back. Had to get some pizza." Pizza. Oh man. Yeah. Hopefully that pizza wasn't late, because never forget, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Um Dylan's comic book rant says, "I actually have a poster I got last Christmas. Love the original cover. Yeah, I have multiple copies. One of my mom's all-time favorites. I grew up with that movie every Christmas." Yeah, yeah. National Lampoons, great stuff. Great stuff. Well, anyway, guys, it's already here after 9 o'clock. You got to get ready, go out and do some work for the day. Go out and just get ready, and just get ready for Thanksgiving. Get some stuff sold. Have a good day. Again, guys, go back and watch that review that I did this morning on those advanced copies of some books that will be dropping tomorrow at your local comic book shop. That is Mall issue number 4 and The Plot issue number 3. Also, go back and watch my video that I dropped last Monday on how to get entered into the giveaway that I am going to be doing this weekend during my 1 year anniversary live stream. I'm going to be giving away a copy of Neon Future Volume 1. That's a trade paperback, guys. It's like 6 issues. It's a beautiful book. It's like thick and it's beautiful. Absolutely love it. It's out on Neon Future is on being put out by Impact Theory Comics. It is their only title right now, but here at the beginning of the year they're going to start volume 2 of Neon Future, as well as a new series called Hexagon over on Impact Theory Comics. I think it is definitely one that you guys should check out. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here. That's all I have for this video today, folks. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up or give this video a thumbs down. Perry Comics says, oh, hold on, when is that live stream? You know what, I was thinking about doing it on Friday. I may end up pushing it till Sunday. Because I forgot Saturday we're going to go down to my brother-in-law's for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So I don't know. I may just reach out to everybody and see what works better. If Saturday early morning or maybe even Sunday. But I still may do it on Saturday and just do it early morning. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I did plan it for Saturday. So just stay tuned here to the channel. Have your notifications turned on so you can learn, so you can be notified when that's going to go live. But that's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much for being here. Seriously, guys, you guys are freaking awesome for showing up and watching me flap my gums. You all have a good day. Go out and support your local comic book shop tomorrow, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.